What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Bullets, Barbells, and Barbecue. I'm Brett. I have Matt here with me. Chris, the artist formerly known as Heavy C. Drinking that Diet Coke for the cows, obviously.
Yep.
And then Tanner the Head is also still not with us.
Good.
We got our show partners, obviously. EliteNutritionOmaha.com. At checkout, use code B3 for 10% discount. Free shipping worldwide with $50. And if you yell B3 in the store, they're going to give you a marginally nice shaker cup for free, I believe.
We'll have to test one. We talked about that.
Yes.
Right.
And then also Rosewood Block Company, best cutting boards in the barbecue game, fully customizable, awesome boards. You'll never be let down. Code B3 at checkout for that for a 10% discount also. So I bought a Jakl from Palmetto State Armory. If nobody's ever looked at Palmetto State, you should, because they actually make really quality guns for super reasonable prices.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jakl, in my opinion at least, is their version of the Scar, which is made by, is that FN that makes the Scar?
FN, yeah.
Except they do it in a 5.56 instead of a 308. And I've been looking at them, and I was going to wait for 308. But then they came out with this fucking sweet camo pattern. Really got me. Fucking got me.
You got to admit it's dried, too.
There's probably a reason that maybe Scars so they can't patent caliber. I don't know. Maybe there has to be something that the reason why they can't.
Well, and the difference is that the Jakl is like $1,400 and the Scar is like $3,800 or whatever they are. They $3,000, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Ridiculously expensive.
There's not $2,000 of more work that makes that gun better, in my opinion.
Probably not.
FN has a great name. Don't get me wrong. I have some FN stuff, but like, that's a big price difference.
Yeah.
I think it's just all about the name. It sounds cool.
Yeah. And actually, Matt and I literally were talking about that gun like 2 hours before that. And I was like, no, I'm going to wait it out. And then I'm just like walking through a parking lot and I get an email. And fucking next thing you know, I just bought a gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, check out Palmetto State in general. I bought some, they have great prices on, I think we bought those Blem AKs for like $6.99.
Yep.
And the Blem was the scratch where the fucking safety ejection door basically opens and is going to scratch anyway. And you bought their...
I bought their 5.7 pistol.
The PSA Rock?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
And I probably put close to 100, 150 rounds through it. So $8,000 worth of ammunition. Those 5.7s are not cheap.
Yeah, they don't give away the 5.7s.
The 5.7's super fun to shoot because it doesn't rise. There's not much muzzle flip, real flat shooting. But the gun itself works great. Like I like limp wristed it on purpose, tried to just shoot as fast as I could to see if I could jam it or anything, and so far nothing.
And the 5.7's a pretty cool round because it's a 5.56 round basically in pistol form.
Yep.
The round itself is like what, maybe an inch and change?
I mean, you can get a shitload in there. Your full-size handgun will hold
22 rounds?
Yeah, the Rock will hold 23 plus 1, which is, I mean, aside from the price, that's why I liked Palmetto versus like FN or Ruger.
Because I bought the FN when they were the only one, and I paid like the $1,200 for that gun.
Yeah, because they're like 20 plus 1 maybe, and so you go with the Palmetto State version, you get 23 plus 1. Now obviously you have to use their magazines, and there's not as many holster options for it, but like because Palmetto State has such a big following, like We the People holsters and some of the others don't make it, but if you go to some of the more, I don't know, boutique's not the right one, but like some of the smaller custom, like Kydex places, they have holsters for Palmetto State pistols, like the Dagger and the Rock and stuff. So, but I had no issues with it. My AR platform was built from there, which is cool because I could go on there and you can get an upper, you can get a lower, you can get, an upper, you can get a lower kit if you wanted something fancy. And so, but I've had that, and I probably put 1,000 plus rounds through that with no issues, and I haven't cleaned it. I sprayed some gun oil on it to make sure it keeps sliding, but
yeah, I haven't been. And they also sell other brands and other guns as well. Sometimes they're not always a deal. Like you've been looking for that Python.
Yeah. And
it's always like, oh, look at this new price.
Like, look at this daily deal. We've knocked the Python down from $19.99 down to $14.99. Like, motherfucker, $14.99 is the normal price.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think they do a good job overall. Do you have any Palmetto stuff?
I do not have any Palmetto stuff. No.
Right, just all Glock stuff mainly, huh?
Handguns.
He smells like a High Point.
I think. Trying to think. No, I've owned other handguns than Glocks, but I got rid of them all.
I think High Point, if they're listening, with the other dozens and dozens of fans, they should market their guns as
Bolt action.
No, they should market them as like, don't worry, it's the best home defense gun. You won't care if it gets confiscated.
Well, even the Demolition Ranch guy, he tried. How many did he buy? He bought 10 of them and tried messing them up. He like put them in concrete, and they all fired. It's
Yeah, the
pretty.
thing with the
I mean,
High
it's
Point,
a total turd. Like it feels like you're holding a brick. But
everybody shits on them, but you know what? If you most guns,
it's cheap and it's gonna go bang.
yeah,
So,
and most guns, you are the. It's like a sniper team. You are just the machine. Like you are just running the gun, and
Yeah.
if you know how the gun works,
But even then, like you can get a PSA dagger, so the Palmetto State dagger, which is their like 9mm platform. You can get that for like $300, generally optics ready, with like 4 or 5 magazines.
yeah. So yeah,
Taurus guns are pretty good too, like the G11, I think it is.
You say Taurus?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Taurus.
I have a judge.
Yeah, so they're
Taurus.
not bad. Tauruses came a long way from when they first started making guns.
I think so has Keltec.
I heard a lot of bad stuff about Caltech when they first, but I've never
When they first
personally
came
owned
around,
one.
I think
Yeah.
they did good with their KSG shotgun. I have that KSG, the 14+1.
It's the 2-barrel or 2-chamber, right?
It's like a
Like
it's like
two loading
a
tubes?
triangle. She's got 2
Yeah.
loading tubes.
Is it the bullpup one where it pops out?
Yeah, and now they make the is it just the K7, which is just like a 7-round. It's like small, but it looks like
Yeah.
that futuristic like pump shotgun kind of. And then I have their sub 2000, and that's that 9mm pistol that folds in half,
Yeah.
and that works pretty good. And I think they take Glock magazines.
Yeah, that's weird that people make guns that take Glock magazines.
Well, it's because Glock stuff's so cheap. Where if you buy some high end stuff, you can't fit it in there.
Right. I mean,
I bet a Staccato doesn't take a Glock mag.
the funny thing
Probably
about Glock is like everyone, and I think we've talked about this before. Like everyone shits on Glock, but really it's Glock people
Yeah, we've
that
talked about
that
that.
are
It's
bad.
just terrible
right?
Glock people.
Like Glock guns themselves. If you want something that's going to work in like pretty much every situation, like a Glock does it. And I'd say most other handguns.
I think
fit that
most
bill.
handguns have come that way. That they're
Yeah.
most of them are going to run no matter what.
Like, yeah, but it's people who are Glock people.
The
who
thing
are
about
the bane of the earth.
Glock people, it seems like none of them are. Everyone has
Rich?
a Glock. Well, no, that's not always true. But it seems
Always.
like everybody gets a Glock, and then the first thing they do is they want to customize it. But if you're a true Glock
Just get a
person,
shadow system.
if you're a true Glock person, then you should just keep it 100% original.
Right.
But everyone knows Glock triggers pretty much suck.
Yeah, I mean
So-
it works, but
It's going to work, but it's not going to be optimal
Well, yeah.
for you to shoot it.
And that's my thing. Like if you're like
Precise shooting.
superiority, like Glock is not. You don't see competitive shooters running Glocks.
If they do,
John
if they,
Wick does.
Well, it's a Terran tactical.
They're in tactical
Glock.
remodeled.
still a Glock.
Yeah.
But I think like off the shelf, those guys are running like those CZs,
Mm-hmm.
Like the CZ
shadows.
Shadow is like
CZ
your,
Shadow, or
your
if they.
go-to
I want
pistol
one of
gun.
those, but I'm not.
But they're not that bad for some of those. They're what 900 maybe.
I want one of those, a Staccato, and a Wilson Combat. There's all kinds of things I want, but it just doesn't really line up for me.
But yeah, and then like a Staccato where it's like so superior, I don't even think they'll let you shoot that in some handgun competitions.
As long as it's, my understanding was like, well, I don't know. There's probably, but I thought it was like there's pretty much like off the shelf guns.
Open and modified,
Yeah,
and
open
there's like
modified
different
and stuff.
And I thought,
I don't know
and
what
I,
those
yeah,
classes.
which we could ask Lane. Lane's gonna be better. But
Okay,
the
yeah.
Staccatos, I think that some of those, I think they won't let you use them in like an open or what do you know what I mean, like off
Yeah.
the shelf. Because from what everybody I've ever heard or read, those Staccatos are just insane.
Speaking of pistol competitions, I've always thought I was pretty good with a pistol, but even if you are good, then you go to those pistol competitions because I've done a couple of them, and you want to talk about nerve wracking because there's like 12 people. You're in a group, and then you have to go in front of like 12 other people. And
I feel
everyone's
like it's
watching.
harder to do it when there's like a competition and people are watching.
Of course, everyone's like,
Do you get pea fried also?
and then you're no. We'll go sometime. They have like novice ones that we can go to. They do it right around this time of year. Actually, it's called the Zombie Shoot, and it's like a pistol competition.
What would I shoot?
I don't know.
Mechanic?
You have a ton of guns that you can shoot.
I'd probably take mechanic. I do like
Like a
that
Desert Eagle.
I do
There
like
you
that
go.
Prodigy, but I gotta either get that past the jamming thing because that Prodigy fucking does shoot nice.
And you'll see how much you can't shoot when there's 12 other dudes. And then
Well, I'm
those
not
guys
as good with a pistol as you are though either. I'd have to
Well,
do some practicing.
I mean, it's all about the fun though.
Oh well,
Go
yeah.
out there and have a good time. We should all
That's
go
what I
do
do
it.
in my backyard.
Yeah.
Super fun.
We could set up.
It's like a
pistol
round of
around
golf if you
his
think about
backyard.
it. Round of golf, you know, couple hundred rounds of ammo. You can't drink though while you're shooting, unfortunately.
That's why you drink before in the truck.
Right. Yeah.
Calm my nerves down, like Blazing Saddles.
Right. That's going to get the shakes under control.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard a lot of bad stuff about Palmetto State stuff. So
No,
I've heard
the things I
most-
bought.
Maybe when they first came out, it's like everything. When someone first starts doing something, it's like, yeah, you got to
Right.
work the kinks out a little
Well, and
bit.
I think
you know?
like if you were, if my AR platform was something that my life depended on regularly, I might go with something other than Palmetto State.
Maybe.
Maybe I don't know enough about the but that's where I could see that. But for most of us, like we have this. At least I have these scenarios built out of where I could actually use these weapons and in some kind of apocalyptic scenario. It's not going to happen. Like even if I do need to use it, like it needs to work a couple times. But I'm not running like thousands of rounds over a week, and it's so Palmetto State for like the vast majority of humans, just fine.
The ARs that I have are BCM and Daniel Defense, and the ones that I made one, but the lower is an Anderson lower, which is probably the cheapest lower that you can find because it doesn't matter. It's a mil spec lower, so it doesn't matter.
Right, it has to meet a minimum.
Yeah, so then you just get that lower, and then I got the upper to match it, and then I put all really good internals in it. So, but the Daniel Defense and the BCM, I actually like BCM better than Daniel Defense, but
What's the price difference on them though?
they're about the same, I think, right around the same. Because Jess has a BCM and I have a Daniel Defense, and I clean both guns. And when I clean them, you can kind of tell which ones are made better. Because my firing pin in the Daniel Defense, it gets a ton of corrosion built up on it, and then lots of hard carbon, and I got to scrape it off. But hers, it's just like I spray some solvent cleaner on it, wipe it off, and it's.
So they're on like
Completely.
an aluminum.
I don't know what the difference is between the firing pin and
Or
the bolt.
is it titanium or aluminum they run on those?
I don't know what it's made out of. That's a good question. But it seems like the bolt in her gun is, I don't know. It's just made out of something. It's better than what's in the Daniel Defense. And it seems like it cleans better. There could be people out there that have had different experiences. But in my experience, both of them side by side, same round count, same cleaning times. The BCM seems to be a little higher quality. So that's what I think anyway. But if you're going to build one yourself, just do a bunch of research on it, and you can get really good parts and then put it together yourself, and then you made it all on your own.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's the right way to do it and the wrong way to do it. The only thing you really got to worry about is when you put the barrel on. Make sure you get the barrel nut torque to the right spec, and it's good. It's pretty easy.
I've never done a full build on one.
Yeah.
I just put a Franklin Armory lower on mine. It was a DPMS before I think Remington bought them when they were still making their own stuff. And then I put that Franklin Armory makes the binary triggers.
Yeah.
So I have not shot that one yet though. I did shoot the other binary trigger one.
Yeah, that one's really fun.
That was just a hoot, as the kids say.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I haven't been. I'll be interested to see how this Jakl is. Like I said, it looks just like the Scar.
Yeah. I bet it's gonna function just fine.
I gotta figure out some kind of optic. I'm not like a huge like crazy optic guy.
No.
I know like we have a friend that puts an optic on like everything. If he could put an optic on a fork in his mouth, he would do it, I think.
I need to get an optic for my bug assault gun.
Yeah, they do make scopes. Those bug assaults are pretty accurate. Actually, just the plastic iron sights are pretty accurate though.
Wolfie's got one, and he said he bought the red dot for it, and he just sighted it on a piece of foil, and he goes, "Dude, it's pretty accurate."
Dude, I shot a skeeter on our wall, and it like fell, but it wasn't dead, so I point blanked it. Neighbor's like, "Was that necessary?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is combat, okay." Fucking 2 in the chest, 1 in the head. We're not letting this guy
put some,
walk away.
We should make one and put like a real, like an aim point optic on it, and a tack light. Like put it on Facebook. Hey, it's got about 57 confirmed on it.
Just notches down
Yeah,
the
it's
side.
like-
Yeah. But yeah, those things are pretty fun and like they're pretty solid.
Yeah. I enjoy it.
I watch Coach X just, obviously he shoots for a living. I watched him cut some wasps out of the fucking air with one of those things up at their cabin. Like he was just pumping and just ripping these guys out of the air. And I was like, man, that is... I had given my dad one, and then he comes down one day. He's like, here. He gives me this like Listerine bottle with salt in it. And I go, I have salt. He goes, this is a little more aggressive salt, like a rock salt or something.
More aggressive.
It's like a rock salt. I don't know. He thought he brought some secret ammo, and I was like, cool, thanks. He's like, no, this stuff's a little more aggressive on him.
If you buy one,
right?
Yeah.
get the actual ones. Don't buy the knockoff ones because they're not as good. So you got to spend the $50 and get a real one.
They make a pistol now too, don't they?
That thing's is like $150, and it's like CO2.
I do have CO2 cartridges because BB guns are expensive in general now.
Are they? I haven't bought a.
I bought like a fucking a Winchester BB gun. It was like $140 or something like that.
Man, I remember it used to be like $30.
Yeah, a little Red Ryder
Go to
action.
the Shopco on 30th.
I use a weed torch on my propane tank and just walk around and burn everything to the ground.
Oh yeah, that really worked for those hornets that got you.
Yep. I got them afterwards though.
As long as
Fuck
it's not
those
attached
guys.
to the house.
If you go quick, those little paper wasps, their nests just go poof. We got steel siding, so it's fine.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Where's all these burn marks in your siding? Oh, those are wasp nets.
Lightning strikes.
Thank God.
Crazy.
Call the insurance guy. You believe this shit?
Yeah, fucking
Unbelievable.
Lightning struck underneath the awning. Fucking weird as
Fucking
shit.
grounded out. Got the whole side of the house over here. Look at it. I
Gonna
don't know
need
why
this
it
shit
melted.
replaced tomorrow.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, because you just did the optic on yours.
Which one?
On your handgun, you had to recite it. 'Cause
Oh,
I've never,
yes, I did. Yes. The battery finally died after 3 years on my Trijicon, and I had to go take it
But you
off.
said it wasn't bad though. Does it have a memory where it'll keep the dot?
Well, I don't think it does, but obviously it's going back in the same gun, and I torqued it to the same specs as you're supposed to torque. So it's pretty close. I bet it just changes a little bit, or it could be. Things also affect your zero when you're out there, like humidity. But on handguns, you really don't got to worry about that as much because you're not going out there to like hundreds of yards.
Right.
10 yard zero on my handgun. Well, a little off today. The humidity's a little heavy.
I
Bullets carrying
zeroed
a
my
little
pistol
bit.
in at 75 yards.
And so, I think we're good. But yeah, it's zeroing a pistol is kind of, it's harder than it is to me zeroing a rifle.
Oh, I think we were talking about that because you can buy like a bench vise for a rifle, but like for a pistol, you can't really buy like anything to like hold it in a steady place.
How I do it is basically I just walk out the 10 yards and I have one of those C targets, like you can see when you hit it and it turns yellow. So I 3 rounds, I do that and then I adjust it a little bit, and 3 rounds again, just a little bit. And then when I get it, I feel like it's pretty good, then I rest it and then I really dial it in after that.
Maybe rest it. You just let it sit for a
I
second.
know.
Let the gun
no,
cool
I,
down.
I rest on something.
Put a little
and
blanket
shoot.
Like
on
a
it.
brisket.
Rest on something and shoot.
Put it in the cooler, wrap it in a towel.
Usually only takes me like 15 rounds, maybe if that, to get it done.
Yeah. I took a scope from one Barrett and put it on a different Barrett and didn't recite it.
Yeah.
It was pretty fucking right on.
Murdered
still.
that birdhouse.
Yeah. We shot Matt's fucking target he had hanging. It shook the entire fucking structure.
That whole frame got destroyed because of that Barrett.
Yeah.
It was
Poor
super fun
birdhouse.
though.
Yeah.
The birdhouse is multi-dimensional because like the rounds
Oh my
just passed
God.
right through it. It didn't explode. Nothing happened to it. You could barely see the entry and the exit from the round.
It was like
How
so
far away was it?
like 100 yards.
No.
Yeah.
It was like so petrified. We shot that thing and I was like, oh, this is going to just explode. It just fucking ate the round. And then we weren't allowed to shoot it anymore.
Yeah. Apparently there were birds in it still.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Why? When there's 50 cal rounds flying through, the
Yeah.
birds are just going, oh, look, hey,
There's
hey,
the guy.
Don, did you see that? What was that?
There's more
sleeping
gang
in
violence in the
here.
neighborhood.
Yeah. What the hell was that?
Neighborhood's going to shit.
Oh, we're going to go get some sticks and shit and fill that hole, I guess.
Yep.
Back to work. Back to the old fucking salt mines again. Fucking blowing up our shit, just sitting here. Fuck.
Fucking minding my own business.
Yeah. But I do need to move that pistol target. I think I'm going to move it over or I have to put some kind of backing behind it because every errant round that goes through has a high chance of just destroying the fence behind it. So if you look at our fence that's right behind where the pistol target is, it's just fucking murdered. Like it's destroyed.
I mean, and it's keeping out large things. It's not like you got to really worry about all the holes in it, do you?
Well, we didn't the first few times, but it's got to the point now where it's just like a few strands here and there crossing over that hold the fence together.
Yeah.
So like if our shepherd really wanted to, he'd probably like, fuck it, just go right through.
I shot at my parents' house on their farm, and they had like, we always called it hog paneling, where it had like the squares.
Yeah.
And has like with a 1/4-inch bar basically. And it must have caught a few Barrett rounds because it took that 1/4 inch and it just like folded it straight out. I hit like a creosote fence post because I had a clay pigeon sit on top of it, and it like cut a perfect like trench through it, like a hot knife through butter. Like it was perfectly like straight line squared off. Yeah.
Those Barrett rounds are big rounds. They're going fast.
I want to see what happens when it hits a person. If anyone wants to volunteer, we would totally take it.
What was that movie with Jack Black? When it's Bruce Willis. I think it is called The Jackal.
Oh yeah, it is the Jackal.
Yeah, and he's out there. He's like, all right, hold that up. He blows his arm off. All right, start running.
And they had that movie with the accountant with Ben Affleck,
Yeah,
where he's out there just shooting
at
those
the farm.
pumpkins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah.
I've looked at the ballistic gel, and it's not cheap.
No, and it's like not multiple usages.
No. You make one mold and then gone.
If I got one of those, I would just go for the gusto and get the human body one. You know, it has like the bones inside.
Yep.
How much are they? They got to be like $1,000 to get one of those.
It was at least $200 for just like a block.
Oh, well, that's
Just like
not,
a cube.
not as bad as I thought. But the human
one would have to be substantially more. I think I saw that and immediately was like, fuck that.
Because you can buy like the waist up, or I think you can buy just the head.
Isn't there a way you can make it yourself? That's probably cheaper
Probably.
to do that.
There's
Like,
a bunch
you
of Jello.
Yeah. Well,
Well, that's what it is. Like you get
It's
your
basic.
own, like you get the stuff and then like you mix it, but just to like buy that.
just to buy the stuff, it
The
was
stuff was
$200?
really
No.
expensive.
I thought it was the whole block.
Right. Like to me, I'm like, why can't you just get like a block of silicone and just, it's close
A bunch of
enough.
rubber cement.
That's fine. Yeah. A bunch of glue sticks.
Yeah.
Have a
Used to make
party
those
over it.
boogers with rubber cement and throw them at people.
Just want to be able to see it though. So it's got to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you poured a bunch of rubber cement into a mold, wouldn't it be clear? Rubber cement's like a grayish color, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't seen rubber
Nice.
cement in a long
It's
time.
been a long time since I've eaten it.
Yeah, or smelled it. Oh man, we used to smell that stuff.
Dude.
You're huffing rubber cement. Man, the things you used to do.
Did we have spray paint one time when I was younger?
You have spray paint?
Yeah.
What a fucking loser.
Dude.
Wait, what's your face all silver for? You been blowing RoboCop?
No, we sprayed in the paper bag, and I'm 99% sure we did it because they talked about it in Dare, and we're like, "Oh, that sounds cool. I got spray paint. Let's try it."
Dare to teach kids how to do drugs.
And we did it, and like we both just passed out. We're like, "Well, that was not fun. I have a headache."
See, you're the reason why I get carded when I buy spray paint at
Yeah.
Home Depot.
Yeah, or like model glue back in the day. We want to buy fucking model glue.
I never made.
You had a fucking. I was terrible at models. I don't even know why. I bought like 2 of them when I was a kid, and I was like,
I love the
I am
idea
not
of models,
patient enough for
but
shit like that.
No.
you get to the point where they're putting the windshield in, and there's like glue like smeared all over the fucking window, and you're like,
I
couldn't
hate
get the
tedious,
stickers to stay on it.
tedious things. I remember I tried stippling one of my handguns one time. I got about a quarter of the way into it. I'm like, this fucking sucks.
You
I
just use
hate.
like a burning.
Yeah.
Like a.
I took a Dremel and I smoothed it all out, and then you just make your little design on it, and then you start going, and then I'm like,
You should have made it look like a dick. You have a lot better grip.
yeah, just like small and it's like,
I don't know what it is. When I grab that
imprint out of my head,
pistol,
it's
just
fucking
really
not
fucking get a
really
hold of.
it gets right in there for some reason.
I grab
don't
that
know.
cock handle, and I'm just holding on to it forever.
You can't let go of it. Can't set it down. I don't know what it is.
Even after it spits up a few times and kills some things.
Yeah, I got some slimy substance on there. Still had a firm grip on her. I want to.
Yeah, rubber cement though. Fucking, we used to huff that shit. The
Yep.
big fat markers.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Chris over here like he didn't do it.
Right.
Why he didn't do it? Because he probably tried to eat the marker because he was so fucking fat.
I never. There was a kid in kindergarten that ate paste, and I was always like, I don't get
I
it.
didn't do that.
Yeah, I'm not a fucking
Is
weirdo.
paste even a thing anymore?
Elmer's?
Like it wasn't like glue. It was like
Like Mod
paper
Podge?
mache paste. You know what I mean? When you're making like those.
Yeah, it's like the Mod Podge stuff.
What
you
is
get
that
now.
shit made out of? This kid
It's
was
like
just
watered down.
because they
Elmer's
had
glue.
those
Yeah.
popsicle sticks,
Yeah.
and he's just in there firing it down. And I'm like,
Wasn't that on fucking Billy Madison where the teacher's fucking eating glue?
I thought she was putting it on her eyes or something too, wasn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, there was a kid that I think ate like Elmer's glue in my class, but
No. I know kids that like sniff the big markers, the big permanent markers.
and then had the mark on their face.
Yeah, they had like,
Mark of the beast.
yeah.
Yeah, I never understood the eating glue. I never one time like even smelled glue, and I was like, dude, I bet this tastes good.
Well, they used to have
Like sniffing
They had
gas.
the purple Elmer's and different colored Elmer's glue.
Well, yeah, but the purple was so like when you put the glue stick on, you could see where your glue was, and then it dried clear.
I thought they actually had the actual stuff in
Oh,
the
the squeezer
bottle.
bottles that would
yeah,
always
that
have
was
the,
different
like-
colored.
Would always like glue shut at the end of the day.
Yeah. Be a little crusty on the end of there. You got to pick off the next day.
Just looking at somebody. In your mouth, did you?
Oh. Too much glue.
Yeah. So back to guns.
All right. How do we get on sniffing?
I don't know how we fucking ended up on glue.
Oh no, we were
ballistic
talking about the
gels.
ballistic gel, and you said you make it out of rubber cement. You're like, oh yeah, sniffing rubber cement.
We used to,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah, you're a druggie.
I've never passed out from huff and spray paint.
Same.
Lies. Now look at him. He's really moved up to rolling four-wheelers and just peeing brown because he got so drunk.
Yeah,
Yeah, right? Real adult shit.
Yeah, like just moving on up over here.
chasing that fucking whiskey with Budweiser.
Yeah.
It's kind of an every other deal, really.
It is a Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what I always say? Can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
Yeah. Plus, there's a Husker game on, so you're probably going to be sad later. So,
Right?
I mean,
Sad
they're,
for 20 years.
they're picked to win. So,
That doesn't mean shit.
I was kidding. Okay?
Don't get me wrong. I
They're
love
up in the
I
series, though,
love the
right?
Huskers, but man, it's so disappointing. And the unluckiest football team to ever play football is the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
You think they're unlucky?
Yes.
No.
How do you think that? And when has luck ever been on the Husker side? And can you remember
The
a
catch
time like,
against Missouri with
man? Okay, yeah.
right?
I guess we'll go with that. One time.
The fact that the entire 90s they never got caught for steroid usage?
or they
That's
kept
not lucky.
they kept their team out of jail.
That's not lucky. That's just
Lawrence Phillips.
That's just great administration.
Scott
there
Frost
at the
was
time.
really lucky when he hid in that closet.
That wasn't part. He wasn't. That wasn't a Husker football thing. That was a Lawrence Phillips was going to kill him and his girlfriend.
Because wasn't Scott Frost having relations with his girlfriend?
I think they. I mean, listen.
Sounds like
I
his
think
girlfriend's problem.
It's yeah. I think Lawrence, I think-
This is between you two.
I don't know if. I mean, I'm guessing she probably broke up with Lawrence Phillips because he maybe was a little aggressive. Then she's hanging out with Scott Frost, and Lawrence Phillips comes over, and Scott Frost's like, "Oh, I'll just hide in the closet because I'm not trying to die tonight."
Like those kids playing flag football with Lawrence Phillips?
When he ran him over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, kids beat me. I'm going to come back.
Nah, I thought the story was that they said something smart to him, like, "Oh, you suck anyway," or something like that. He's like, "Oh yeah, check this out."
Still proof that he sucked.
Yeah. No, they are unlucky every time.
I don't think they're unlucky. I think it's just
Unlucky.
they had a 9-win coach and then they fired him.
That's because people didn't like him. He was too angry.
You got to decide if you like winning or the coach. You got to decide which one you like more.
They want both. They want Osborne.
I mean, you could talk about Bo Pelini, but Frank Solich went to the national championship game, and then the next year had what a
That's
shitty
where it all
year.
started.
And then like, oh, we better get rid of him.
They kicked out Solich.
Yeah, didn't he have like a co-ed friend too or something?
That's fine.
I mean, doesn't everybody when they get?
I'm 100%. If you're winning, no one cares.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
No one cares when you win.
there was all kinds of rumors about Bo Pelini's brother too having.
Carl?
Yeah.
Carl, good to see you. Yeah, I'm sure like when old Saban retires from Alabama, I'm sure there's going to be a few stories down there.
What? No, he's a golden boy.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything wrong.
I don't know. Like
He's home before
I've
the
listened
street
to a
lights
bunch
come
of
on.
interviews and read a bunch of stuff with him. I think his staff, sure, 100%.
Well, I'm just saying, but I mean, we'll look at Urban Meyer. He got in trouble because the other coach was beating up his wife. Like he knew about
Yeah,
it. He
but
was
Urban Meyer was doing other things too, though.
like, hey, but he was winning,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? Nobody cared about what was going on in Florida until Urban Meyer left, and then they started losing.
Yep.
That happens a lot, it seems like.
in Florida, especially.
Well, a lot of teams. I mean, didn't the same thing happen when Pete Carroll coached? I mean, they
Well,
were
yeah, and
winning.
now all that shit's legal.
Yeah. So-
Fucking Reggie Bush's agent got a fucking house for his parents. Okay.
Well, it was kind of funny. Pete Carroll's like, well, I'm going to leave college football because, I just don't like, coach some kids up and then they leave me in 2 years. I'm going to go back to the pros. And he goes to the pros and then all that scandal stuff happens. It's like, oh, somebody saw what was coming. And they're like, oh, I'm fucking out of here.
They're not dummies. Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Did they, are they giving Reggie Bush's Heisman back?
I do not believe so.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, especially since they've changed all the rules now, they should give it
Well,
back.
and like, dude,
Oh, so we were
But it's
wrong.
all about whatever the rules were at the time he was playing.
yeah, but anything of that still didn't change his performance on the field. I think that was total shit.
Just saying.
Shut up. He's just trying to be fucking Switzerland over here. And then if you're Vince Young or when they show up at your house, be like, hey, you were second place. You want this Heisman?
No. Would you take it?
No.
Get out of here
So
with
you just
that
got this
shit.
weird year where
Fuck
there's no
yeah, I'd
fucking
take it.
Heisman.
Take it and sell it.
You could have
Yeah.
bought. Didn't
Yeah.
they auction off OJ's? You could have bought OJ's.
Oh, that'd have been cool.
Did they sell
I'm sure
it?
there'd be some crazy
I bet that
Texas
went for a
fan
bunch of money.
from Vince Young that would be like, oh, man, I'll pay whatever you want for that Heisman trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. You can have it for $500,000.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy how college football's changed now, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully Nebraska will figure out to, start buying more players.
Well, it's different now, right? Because you have college players can get paid. The portal's there. Scholarships are different. So, like, it's a totally different game now than it was back in the golden era of the.
Oh, and I feel like Nebraska's just like, oh, we used to be great.
Well, that's part of the problem. Like, if you go to
wake
other
up.
stadiums,
like,
so I haven't been to a lot of other stadiums, but like Wisconsin was one of the coolest, where like they don't have a lot of blue hairs there, and they have the entire north end zone. I think it's north end zone is all students. So they have like 25, 30,000 students at their game, where it feels like UNL has like 7.
yeah, it's not
Because they have
student
that
section
one
isn't
little
really-
shitty sliver, which it's not like football's not for everyone. Like football's for the students. Like the students should have priority to get to see that. But you go to other stadiums and they have a lot higher student participation. Not participation, but they have more access to tickets to go.
I could be wrong about this, but I think Nebraska is mainly worried about the money that comes in, and that's why they don't want to
Oh yeah,
expand the student
Yeah.
section. You know what I mean? Because those kids because they basically get tickets just for going there, and they're not going to expand the student
Well,
section.
like
to-
a lot of sports, and I think now this was dated information and probably somewhat inaccurate, but at UNL, football, volleyball, and I think bowling were the only sports that were self-sufficient based on their ticket sales and what they brought in from whatever revenue streams. Everything else is supported by football.
Well, even a lot of the money goes back into the football program puts a lot of money back into the university in general.
Right. So, but like all those other sports in university, like they are all floated by the revenue that comes in from football. So when they look at budgeting and stuff, like, oh, we've got 93,000 seats, and I don't know, 80,000 of them are from paying people who are also they're buying the seat ticket and they're giving a donation. So like all that money comes back into the school. So it's tough to like take that out.
Well, I think whoever's in charge over there, whoever that may be, needs to figure it out here pretty soon, because if the team keeps sucking for so long,
Yeah.
eventually all these people that get all the money are going to die off, and their kids are going to be like, oh, I'm going to go down and watch a fucking 5-win team. I don't care if I am from here. You know what I mean? That's not my scene.
Well, and stop commanding the price they want. Like I said, the donations. Like, I don't know if other schools require donations.
I would imagine. So I don't.
It's got to be somewhat the same, kind of the same thing.
But yeah, like I said, we've talked about it before. Take that money from the donations and just like do it differently and start buying players so you can win games.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's basically the NFL now, dude. It's the Wild West out there. You got to go fucking buy players.
You need to get some young dude in there that knows all that stuff, the ins and outs, and who you can pay, how all that stuff. Get him in there and let him just like redo the whole thing and get some real talent there.
Well, that's like one of the staff. Like you still need your head coach that like knows football.
Well,
and
you put
does
that
all
on your recruiting guy.
But yeah, you got to have a recruiting guy who's in the know with all this stuff.
Yeah, and give your recruiting guy a checkbook and just.
Well, that's
takes it
the other
with
thing.
him.
That's
yeah,
the other problem.
fine.
Are they giving that guy a checkbook, Or is it just like, oh, well, hey, just kind of sell on the nostalgia of playing for Nebraska? Hey, nobody gives a fuck about that.
Right. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
None of
nobody
these kids,
cares
none of these
about
kids were
that
like alive when they won the national
Yes,
championship.
exactly. Then we need to let that go. We need to let that go.
No, I don't. I don't think there's every kid that's playing for Nebraska had to be born in the 2000s, right? At this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. Unless you got some real fucking flunkies in there, but otherwise, yeah.
and then I hate that argument. We were just talking about this yesterday. The argument, well, Nebraska's not really a destination school where you want to go. Oh, and Michigan is. It's so nice in Michigan. Ohio? Who the fuck wants to go to Ohio?
Those are like significantly larger cities.
Well, what I'm
No,
saying
but as far
is,
as like selling the state,
let's
like
say
the
if you
environment.
were you're from the South, like you grew up in a really nice, it's nice year round, and then you're looking at schools that
If
you
you
want to
grew
go
up in
to.
the South and you're going to an SEC school.
Well, I think Ohio State and Michigan, they pull some kids from the South.
Yeah, you
Stuff like that.
Do you want to go to a snow-covered fucking place?
That's what
or
I'm
do you
saying. And then everyone's like, oh, no one wants to come to play for Nebraska because it's not the kind of
because
place
we don't
like
have
that.
any direct flights anywhere.
Yeah. So I go, what? All these other cities that aren't any nicer. You're telling me they're getting 5-star talent though? It's because of other reasons.
Money.
Yes.
Yeah. Money makes the world go around. Obviously, we've seen it in all the things that are going on in the world right now. Money makes the world go around. And if you've ever thought differently, I'm sorry. It's just the way it is.
I wish it was Oreos.
Like Tupac said, it's just the way it is,
Mm.
But that was our random thoughts for the day. Check out PSA. Buy some guns from them. Old
Do it.
Palmetto State Armory.
Yep.
Get
Hope
proficient with handguns.
Hope the Huskers get better.
Hope the Huskers get better.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. Hopefully college football figures this out. There needs to be, I think the NIL is cool for the players, right? I get it.
Like, it's good that
There
get
needs to be some
something.
kind of structure to it. Like I said, if you're going to have the
Has to.
NIL, maybe close down the fucking transfer portal. Like these kids need to have some like loyalty to a team, like
Right.
almost some kind of contractual obligation like in the NFL.
Like, just even if you just made it so you had to sit a year out.
yeah, you
Like,
gotta
you give up a year.
because you can't even go to a game anymore and be like, oh man, we got this new kid, fucking 2 years, he's gonna be great. Fuck, he might be gone. Might
Yeah.
be gone. You got no chance to watch this kid develop.
Yep.
So that'd be great to see that. But yeah, that's our thoughts on the fixing the world and guns to buy. But we appreciate you guys listening. And like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. If you don't have any friends, just like tell your family about us if they like you. And follow our Instagram page. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and set us for auto download. And we'll see you guys next time.